Once in my life, I agree with her. I think y'all should sing next Sunday. You ladies, y'all should sing. I'm going to ask this. How about if the Lord was to give us just what we were doing? How would that work? How would that work? Here's why I walked around the church and told every lady, except Letta, don't eat now. Can't eat now. In here, there was a time when the Lord did just that. He gave the folks of Israel what they asked for. We want a king, and we don't want to judge what they were straying. They were straying, and things were not going how they had it planned. I'm saying straying. They were straying away from Christ, and they wanted, or well, I say Christ, I told the Lord, but they was wanting a king now. I don't want to judge anymore. A judge was by Christ, but they were wanting their own king. So now we want somebody. This is what we want. And he explained to them how it would go. He spoke to Samuel, and he explained to him, here's what we'll do. And all of these things he explained to them, but they declared, we want a king. I stopped and I think about, I love my grandmother all my heart, and here's what hits me. How about I could have her again, but I be in charge? She could cook. Oh, man. I still think about that. I wish I'd have learned how she cooked. She cleaned, washed my clothes. She did everything. I was spoiled. I'll say it, guys. That's why I loved my grandmother so much. I could leave in the morning, and she would say, here's what's in the house. What do you want for supper? And it was her and I got to choose. And I could head home, and I knew all day I was gonna have for supper. That's why I'm not married. I mean, I want what I want. I'll be honest. Been spoiled my whole life. I'm like that. I do. I want what I want. I grew up. She was the other way, but she had rules, and I learned them early. And I learned this: if I would follow those rules, I could get what I wanted. But now I stop. I get back to, if I was in the kitchen, she had to do what she was doing. But then do what I asked her to do. I'd still say, I want you to cook for me because you do that wonderfully. I want you to clean for me because you do that wonderfully. All the things I liked, I want her to do, but I would want to go crawfishing every day. I want to go do what I want to do. How would that work, though, guys? How would that work? Who would I be now? If I could do those things that I couldn't, she have not put those rules in place, what would have happened with me?
Probably would have got real sick of crawfishing.
Professional crawfish fisherman and been making tons of money.
But I stay in Texas though. But I like what Cheryl's saying. But here's where I'm going. The Lord gave me to her because he knew she would draw on her experience, on the things she had learned. He said, I'm going to put him here because she will rely on me, and he will grow, and he will learn from me through her. Through her. Now here's where I'm going. If we're not led by Christ, what happens? Who are we led by? Who?
The world.
The world. Right? The things that we want. What do we want, guys? What we want, right?
And what now? Yesterday.
Okay. Sure? Now, guys, we're in church now. We're in church. I don't want you. Everything I say I want, you got to do it. You can't say, no, I'm in charge. You have to do it. How would that make her feel, guys?
Trapped.
Huh? Okay. Who else? Yeah. But how would I feel? I've got it my way, right? I'm the man in charge. I'm getting what I'm wanting. Here's the point I'm trying to make. He's fair and he's just to us all. If everyone got what they were wanting, what would happen? Complete and what? Complete and total chaos, right? Why? Because I would argue for what I wanted, and he would argue for what he wanted, and you would argue for what you want, and she would argue for what you want. Over time, what would happen? And I'm hard-headed. I mean, I'm going to just bear down, and I'm not going to work with anybody, and I'm going to just be stubborn, and I'm going to fight for what I want. Because I'm special. Now, we're in church. I don't feel this way. I'm just saying this. So, as a kid, that's how I felt, though. I did. Hey, I'm special. I deserve what I want. At some point, we all feel like this, right? For some reason, hey, we feel like I deserve this. I want this. Here's how it should go for me. Here's what happened with the folks after they was wanting this, and the Lord, he did. He gave them what they wanted. And often, hey, we think, what? If I can get what I want, it's going to make it better for me. I heard them say something back in Sunday school. That's right. They're right. For the choices we make, they're what? Consequences. And here's what's wrong if we get only what we want. We also have to accept and deal with that. Now, what am I saying? In the garden, and I'm going back to the woman. What did she do? She did what she wanted. Ate that apple. He was there, right? Hey, I agree. He should have said, "You can't eat that apple, Cheryl." He didn't know. But here's my point. Here's my point. If we get what we want, what would happen?
We'd be spoiled.
I'll go to hell.
You're getting ahead of me, but you're right. You're absolutely right. That is my point. It's set up that we are to be led by him. We are to accept him. We are to live for him. If we got what we wanted, if we did what we wanted, how would that be? How would Cheryl feel? I could be terrible. I mean, if I knew in everybody in our own way, if we knew we got what we wanted and everybody else had to do what we wanted, hey, would it be fair to everybody else? It wouldn't. It wouldn't. But here's what happened. And I'm going to make this short. I don't have a whole lot of time. Even after, hey, the Lord explained to them through Samuel what would happen with their kids and everything, they still wanted king. So he did. He gave them just what they wanted for a time. And there are some folks who would think, that's wonderful. Wonderful. I got what I wanted. At the end, a result, they wind up with Saul. And he did just what the Lord said he would do. And they got further and further away from the Lord through their human desires. So he did what? He took it away. We have to have him. We have to be led by him. We're human. We have human desires, and those human desires lead our flesh. It leads us to what? Sin, the end, a result. Being what? We die. Eve, she shouldn't have ate that apple, that woman. No. Here's where I'm going. We are responsible for our actions. We have to love one another. We have to accept him, as I Savior, Jesus Christ. We have to follow him. And I enjoyed our class. Everybody was asking all of these questions about what we don't understand. And I'm going to say it. And I sat back and I heard everybody. It's good that we don't understand. Why do I say that it's good that we don't understand? I'm going to say this. Just, hey, when I think I understand, I start, hey, doing what I can make a shortcut here. I can fix this. I can change that, and it'll still work, right? We blow it. Sure, but here's where I'm headed. And I'm going to read, hey, this portion. Here's what it says in Hosea 13 and 11. I gave you a king in my anger, and I took him away in my wrath. If I give you what you want, you don't know where that is given. If I give you what you want, I'm going to have to take it away in my wrath. Before I hit those cows, before I had that rep, I had a really good job. I was happy on the job. Man, everything was going my way. I was up for each job. Promotion. Man, I was happy. But I'm going to share a story. I was up there, and I was doing everything, and I wasn't doing anything bad. But there was one thing I wasn't doing. I wasn't in church. And I've known all my life I was supposed to preach. Man, everything was going my way. I'll say it. I thought I was happy. And then I got a phone call. Hey, my kids had to come see about my kids. And my kids, boy, look here. I love my kids. I got a phone call, and I'm going to Wichita Falls. I gotta go. That was my ex-wife. Why can't you take care of it? I don't care. My kids call. I have to go. I went and hit home. I hit those cows. And after I hit those cows, and that was the end of that job. I couldn't go back to that job for about 8 years. I was angry. I was mad. I was upset. I was hurt. Why? I wasn't doing anything wrong. And there was one thing I was doing wrong. I wasn't doing what the Lord had asked of me. I had gotten what I was wanting. I had the job. I was happy, I thought. But I wasn't in church. So, okay, Daryl, because you're not going to do what I ask of you, I'm going to take it away. And he did. Over time, I understand why that happened. I can say now, he got me back on track. Even though I wasn't doing anything wrong, I wasn't in the bars, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing stupid stuff, I wasn't doing anything. I just going to work, coming home, I was putting up money, taking care of my kids. But I wasn't in church. What was going to happen over time? I was going to get further and further away from the Lord. I would have never gotten here. Here's my point. The Lord has purpose for our lives. He allows these things to happen. Yes, we do have free will. But he's going to do what he has to get your attention. And yes, for a short time, you may get what you want. But there's a train wreck, or there is a car wreck ahead if you don't hear what he's saying. Man, I know. Hit those cows, and it happened fast. It happened quick. But here's what I'm so thankful for. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt until about 5 minutes right before those cows. I heard a voice. I was in the truck by myself, headed home. I was debating what had happened. I was upset, and I was blaming everybody else. I had to come down here and see about this. That's okay. I'm going to take care of my kids. But right before I hit those cows, I heard a voice inside that truck. And I was in that truck with me and me. I wasn't playing the stereo or anything. I heard a voice say, "Put your seatbelt on." I said, "I'm fine." I wasn't driving fast. I'm headed home slow. I'm in a hurry. I'm driving 55 miles an hour. Some shit. Again, put your seatbelt on. I said, I guess I better put my seatbelt on. And I did. Next 3 minutes, it was over. I topped that hill and cows were everywhere. It was night and they were black. Bad day, bad wreck. Changed everything. But that bad wreck, that bad day, it changed my life. After that, for a period of time, I was angry, I was upset, I was mad. It took a while for me to accept what he had done, but it's one of the best things that could have happened with me. Heeding him, being led by him, paying attention to him. If we get what we want, how will it help us if we don't know what we need? I'm going to say it again. My grandmother was one of the best things that could have happened to me. At the time, I didn't think so, because, man, hey, could she spank me? But I'm going to say this. When she spanked me, it was because that's what was best. She understood. I needed what? Correction. But I also I needed to be led by him. As she did what she did, she was helping lead me to him. I'm going to close. Hey, with this, as I told those women, you can't eat an apple. If it's from me, it doesn't mean anything. Now, if I'm led by him, it does. But if I'm acting out of my own desires, how would it help him? But if I'm led by him, and if I say, don't eat that apple, Eve, don't eat that apple, because there's what? An consequence. Here's my point. If we're being led by Christ, what happens? It works for our good. If we're not led by Christ, what happens? Shirley's going to share with me just what's on her mind and how she feels. Now, is that what my end result? Am I wanting that? No, because I love Shirley. Now, I'm going to say this. Here's the only thing I'm going to say it. I want what is best for Cheryl, and I like to give her a hard time. Why? Because I love Cheryl. I'm led by Christ. I want what's best for him. If we're led by Christ, in the end, it works out for our good. But if we're not led by Christ, if we're led by our humanly flesh and desires, what is our end result? Destruction. Thank you, guys.